I didn't expect to be going live again so soon. But after my last video, and actually because of a question that was asked earlier on, basically somebody on here was diving into Arrow for the first time, and they wanted to know what one of the box sets that they should pick up is. Well, the sale's going on. The sale is going on till the 15th, I think. So there's really 4 more days of the big Arrow buy one get one sale. So what I'm talking about though is the first volume of, like, the second volume is out now. It actually just came out, and I finally, hey Mug, welcome. I finally got to dive in and watch everything and read the booklet that came with the hey Shadow, it came with the American Horror Project Volume One. If you're not familiar with the American Horror Project, it is a box set. There's 2 of them out at this point, and I hope to God we get a third one that is done with Stephen Thrower, who fantastic author. So he's helped create these films for each of these volumes. He actually does an introduction at the beginning of each of the first set, and I think in the second set there's actually more of like a visual essay discussion done on each of the 3 films. So I haven't got into the second volume yet, but I just completed everything on the first volume. The booklet is fantastic. There's a great introduction. Hey Isaac, by Stephen Thrower himself. There's an essay on each of the films. I think Malatesta's essay, I think, is written by Kim Newman. The one, oh really? Definitely check it out, because we did get to talk a bit about Baba. The second film here, Which You Came from the Sea, the essay in the booklet is done by Kirla Janice. I probably got her name wrong, though I did see a great documentary on her. And the third one, The Premonition, I think it's written by Brian Albright. Actually, I got to check, because I don't want to get the authors' names wrong, because they are. Yeah, it is Brian Albright. So there are 3 fantastic essays on these films, and if you do get the chance to pick up the first volume, if you're one of the people that were able to grab it during Vinegar Syndrome when they had like a few volumes of it left, or if you ever see this and basically online for a decent price, or you see it come back in any way, grab it. This is incredible. At a time when so many reboots and remakes and just kind of studio regurgitated horror is being made, watching something like this is a real breath of fresh air. It's a palate cleanser. You tend to forget that there was a time when people were just making, hey Brian, welcome to it. Oh, definitely check out Brian's video, Kubrick Lover's video there, because I'm going to do that later on tonight. Actually, he's got some of the Criterion stuff. Speaking of which, Kubrick Lover, if you didn't get this set here, or the second volume that came out, I know when I think of like some of the stuff that you like, it's more of a stronger. Ooh, I got some nice video. A top 10 slasher list by B Movie Archives. So I got a few videos to watch tonight, which is awesome, because I think I'm going to relax after this and actually watch one. Premonition is fantastic too. Premonition is probably the highest budgeted out of these 3 films, and what a cast, man! Richard Lynch is in the Premonition. One of my favorite actors of all time, who did. Oh, I looked up after this, and perfect timing to see me. And his favorite film that he ever did was a movie called Vampire, which was the pilot for a TV series that actually co-starred the guy from The Exorcist, actually. That was his favorite film. That was actually my favorite film of his when I was a kid as well. Richard Lynch is probably most famous for having this kind of like he's blonde haired, kind of a bit of a scarred face. And basically, that's because when Richard Lynch was younger, in 1967 actually, he tripped out on some LSD and he caught himself on fire. So he was burnt, and he used that later on, like in his films. He was a extraordinary character actor that if you ever see any of his stuff, I strongly recommend. If you ever see anything that with him in it, I strongly recommend you check it out. So there's three films here altogether. We get Malatesta's Carnival of Blood, which does have kind of a Herc Harvey kind of Carnival of Souls aspect to it. There is The Witch Who Came from the Sea, which is yeah, which is kind of like which is done by Matt Simber. You know, he did stuff like Lady Coco. Matt Simber did a lot of stuff, but this was the first work that Matt Simber did that he didn't like have his hand completely in. Like this was actually written. The script for this one was written by the then boyfriend. I don't think it was a husband, maybe an husband, but at least boyfriend Millie Perkins, who actually stars in The Witch Who Came from the Sea, and the Premonition. Utterly incredible. Well, Richard Lynch, but there's a nice connection there. Okay, you're a bad man. Enjoy your evening there, man. And get this if you don't have it. I've been jonesing for some really good horror, for something that challenged me a bit, that was a bit out of the mainstream. I just didn't know what I wanted until I watched it, and then this is it. This is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I wanted, and I could not be more pleased with the box that I am with this thing right here. And my only thoughts right now is I can't wait to get to the second volume. Oh wow, that is awesome. I have no fancy actor stories like that, except for the fact that I'm not sure if you know who this actor is, but my grandmother used to hang out with a guy by the name of Gordon Pinson. That's before you were born. Oh, you're young then, man. You're young. But I've mentioned the first one here before on my channel, and that is Malatesta's Carnival of Blood. And if anybody's seen these, please, oh, dude, and ready, you got it, man. These are amazing. It's to the point now where I've just finished the first set. I'm going to be going into the second set soon. I'm both excited and nervous that I'm going to have to wait 2 more years to get a third set of the American Horror Project, and I really hope that's not the case, because these are really, really good and really well put together. Malatesta's Carnival of Blood was set at this, oh god, what's the name of the carnival? This is actually set at a real carnival that you've probably heard of. I actually got to check it out because it's in the booklet, and that was really, really interesting, because it's a really freaking creepy carnival. Oh, Willow Grove, actually, perfect there. It's on the back of the box. Willow Grove Amusement Park, which you've probably heard of. You're 1 year like older B-Movie Archives than my youngest. And Willow Grove Amusement Park, if you've ever seen like any like the pictures online or stuff, there's lots of pictures of Willow Grove Amusement Park. It's kind of infamous. That's what I hope. I hope that, because this one took a while to sell, Shadow, but the second volume seems to be going a lot faster than the first one did, and fingers crossed that that's going to be a good sign for volume 3, and hopefully they're already working on it. This is really well done. It's really surreal and definitely kind of oddly done. It doesn't spoon feed you anything. It's very impressionistic in the way that it's done, and there's just some beautifully shot sequences, and the work that's done, the set work is insane. It is incredibly insane, and the people that did the set work in this became like really big architects afterwards, like creating some really unique and different architecture. There's a lot of great information on here, by the way, to check out. Just to, if you're interested in any of these films, the good thing is that the information, like the interviews and the commentaries, and the booklet, very strange film, but fantastic. Lets you dive in, and it lets you dive in deep. So you're not left with like kind of wondering, like, I wonder why. No, they go pretty deep when it comes to this one here. Malatesta's Carnival Blood is a really fantastic little film. But I've spoken about that one before, so I don't want to belabor that part there. Now the next one up, and this is an odd cover, is the Witch Who Came from the Sea. And the title of the film really has nothing to do with the film itself. It actually comes from like a conversation that the lead character Molly has with this actor that's throwing this party, and basically they're looking at a picture and of Venus, Botticelli's Venus, and he makes a comment. This is the witch who came from the sea. I definitely do. I think that I was worried, Cool Blue, when the first volume came out, because it was kind of a slow seller, like a really slow seller for Arrow Video. I have noticed that more people have been buying Volume 2, and it seems to be like moving a lot faster than Volume 1 did. And you see people now that have gone back and looked for the out of print Volume 1 because of Volume 2. It's starting to catch on now. So I do think that any thoughts of Volume 3 are much stronger than they would have been after the initial release of this one, which is a real shame that this one took so long to sell out, because it is so good. Yep, as you can see, dude, old school artwork right here. I had to do it. They just had, like, the artwork. It's good artwork. I mean, like, the new artwork is good, but the old artwork is just so cool. This has very little to do with the film, but it is an amazing cover. This is a psychosexual type of film, and it deals with some really dark aspects. That, I'll be honest, there's some sequences that are kind of hard to watch, because it does deal with, and I don't think it's giving too much away to say that it deals with incest, like, and the way that it. Hey, Scott. Get your beauty sleep, man. And how it affects the survivor. It's really, Matt Simmer is like, I think Dean Cundy does like the cinematography on this one, which is incredible. Dean Cundy of Halloween fame, and many other films, but you can tell the scenes are Shadow, exactly. The scenes are really rough, but I think for the type of stuff that you're talking about, they got to be rough. No way should that be something that's comfortable to watch. And Simber does it like he doesn't do it. He never does it exploit. There's never any exploitiveness within the way that he does it. It's actually pretty genius. Millie Perkins is incredible in this film. Buck Flowers actually as a part in this film as well. So if you're a fan of Buck Flowers, and so does his daughter, I think her name is Verinka Flowers. Yeah, but this one it's intense. And what's nice and kind of neat about it is that there's no like guessing who the killer is or anything. That we know what's going on. But what's kind of interesting is we first see like the murders kind of in what seems to be in the beginning fantasies. So you're not quite sure right away if these are things that have actually happened, or she's kind of fantasized about them. But you find it really quickly when a news report comes on later on that within the film, it's saying that that these two people have died. Yeah, but that's the thing. It deals with a really harsh topic and something that's not easy for like even today, like to be talked about. But it's definitely something that needs to be, and it's something that needs to be said, and something that needs to be talked about, because in real life this happens, and we get to see this kind of the lasting effects on here. The Brood is a fun film. I like The Brood. B Movie Archives, Brian, and Brian, by the way, Brian, Cubic Lover, you need these films. I'm not even joking. You really do need these films. There's probably your favorite of the two you watched. I think you'll like this one too. This one does have a. This one is a bit of a slow burn. It starts off with with an opening with Richard Lynch in kind of like clown makeup, and he's doing like kind of like a dance or some type of yeah. It's very Fellini-esque, and the director did that on purpose. He did the opening kind of like homage to Fellini in the beginning of the film, but there's some really creepy sequences in this film. There's one, and I don't really want to give it away, but there's a sequence in this early on in this film where because basically the idea behind Premonition is that this husband and wife, they have a daughter, and the daughter was adopted because 5 years ago the mother kind of lost it, and her daughter was taken from her. So what happens here basically is this is 5 years later, and the mother is not escaped. She's gotten out of a mental asylum, and she's hooked up with this with this clown played by Richard Lynch, who works at this carnival, and he takes pictures of as a clown he takes pictures for people and does photography there. And what he's been doing is he's been looking at the kids to see if he can find which kid is hers. And just as she's gotten out, he's actually found her daughter and the family that have that's adopted her, and she wants her daughter back. It's got a fantastic cast. We got Sharon Farrell in this one, Richard Lynch, Jeff Corey is in this. Daniel Brisbaz plays the 6-year-old little girl, and she of course would come to greater fame, in All in the Family, and of course Archie Bunker Place, where she was the the one that they adopt. The movie has some really creepy sequences, mostly done by the actress that plays God, what's her name too? Because it's not on the back here, I don't think. And it's a shame because she is so good in this. I think Ellen Berber or something like that. Berber. She's really good, and she's this really intense, really actually really attractive. She wears this red dress, and she plays piano with this kind of like fervent passion. But there's this sequence, and basically the mother, her daughter has been hasn't been able to sleep well. She's been having nightmares, and the mother starts to have her own visions, nightmares, and she wakes up, and she hears something, a noise upstairs, because her daughter has a rocking chair right beside her bed, and she walks up the stairs, and although it's a simple scene, it's extremely creepy, and it's harkened back to later on, which has another vision in the film, and we kind of get glimpses of what's happening, without out and out showing us exactly what's happening on both sides when the mother has these visions, has these premonitions. Things unravel slowly, and with the right, yes, it's good. It's actually a good sequence. At the end of the film, I guess we've got a happy ending. It leaves it a little ambiguous as to whether it's 100% happy or not. But it's really well done. It is a slower pace one, and that may throw some people off. When they initially watch this. But remember at the time that this was done, and put your expectations to that to that level. This is very very well done, and I literally just finished this, and the featurettes on there. There's some great stuff on here as well. There's some great. There's the introductions. By the way, watch all of these with the introductions. The introductions are incredible for all these films. Don't think the introductions are going to spoil anything for you. They don't. The introductions by Stephen Thor actually are a great way to start watching these films. He really brings people in and gets you ready, and he tempers your expectations to what they should be before you watch the specific film that you're going to watch. There's not a commentary. Oh, I haven't listened to the commentary on these yet. There's a great behind the scenes making of here. Sorry. There's I think there's some short films on this one. Yeah, there's some short student films that he did. Very short, actually, for one of them. Vernal Equinox, Terminal Point, and A Rumbling in the Land. So some short films. There's 4 Peace Spots, which I didn't check out, which I actually might check out right after this. I know that was during one of the videos here, wasn't it? It was an ant. But this time of year, we get so many of these things that at first I feel, oh, I'm so guilty. I'm not going to hurt you, little ant. And then after a while, it's like, bam, bam, bam. Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy this, man. I really do. All 3 films on this set are utterly fantastic. And not only that, don't miss out on wait till you watch the films, of course. But after you watch the films, make sure you check out this book here. It runs around, I think, 60 pages, and fantastically well done essays. Every single one of these is extremely well done, and highlights the films that you're about to watch, that you watch even more. It's an incredibly well done, well paced. I made a video earlier on today, and I'll be honest with you, I don't normally like to make 2 videos in one day, because what happens? So law of the internet, law of YouTube, one cuts in the viewership, cuts down the viewership of the other. That's the that's the truth, and that's usually why you see people pace them out. They'll make a video one day and they'll make another video, or they'll make a video once a week or twice a week type of thing. That's usually the reason behind that, behind the curtain. But when I feel so strongly about something, so passionate, that I can't wait to come on and talk to you guys about it. This is the case with this. This is one of the best things I've seen in a very, very long time. And this is definitely one of the best curated box sets that I've seen. It's always, that's the thing, and ready. And I almost did it too. I The Witch Who Came from the Sea was the only one that I'd heard of from the set. I think I'd seen the Premonition, the box, but I never actually watched the Premonition before. And but I'd never seen Malatesta's Carnival of Blood. I don't think I'd even heard of it really, and it didn't seem like anything that I would be interested in. But then it surprised me. Then this little box, it took me on a little trip through different areas of America, and I got to experience some really cool, really different regional horror. And Kubrick lover, you who likes the Criterion, who seems like the smarter, more more challenging films, right? I consider this to be that. I consider these to be films that challenge. And none of these films, even the most commercial of them, which is Premonition, that is the most commercial of all these films. None of these ever takes the safe route, or the safe route in what it does. That being said, none of them fail at what they want to do. Trauma stuff is fun. These are not trauma. These are incredibly well done films. This is an amazing box set, and it is one that gets from me the highest recommendation that I can give anything on my channel. Is it Blumhouse? Does Blumhouse make the most movies in a year? Uh, Definitely pick it up. I gotta watch that. Lust for Freedom is a fun one. Uh, Asylum should have known. But yeah, if you don't have it, guys, pick it up. This isn't gonna be like an overly long video. This it's just honestly the fact is that this 110% excited me. It made me happy. It made me happy as a film viewer. It made me happy as a collector to own something like this, and it made me understand something that I was talking about with one of my friends earlier on. We're talking about the different streaming services that are out there, and that there's a glut of them, and it's starting to become like cable television, where there's too much, and it's going to be too expensive, and some are going to make it, and some aren't going to make it. And my my argument was that what's going to decide eventually, aside from like the basically casual stuff, is I think curation is going to be key in both in streaming and in like physical media. Oh, Shudder's fantastic, dude. Don't say bad stuff like Shudder. They do great stuff. I watch Shudder a lot. Curation is key to the future of cinema, of film. That's what we're getting with stuff like Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory. We're getting more curated films, more collector's editions, more collector's box sets, and severing that curation is key to the future of cinema itself. And that's pretty much what I had to say. Not a long video, but a passionate one and an exciting one for me. When I look at what's coming out, and you can see like the the regular stuff that comes out, or some of the different. You see what's selling, what's moving physical media along right now, and it is definitely the niche companies, the collectors companies. That's what's keeping us going. That's what's keeping it afloat. It's not the $5 Walmart bin that that people are buying from. People are excited about the Criterions. They're excited about the BFI flip sides. They're excited about their Arrow videos and Arrow Academies. These are coming out. They're coming out limited edition, and that's what people are buying right now. YouTube has been a great resource for film collectors, because in all honesty, this is what pushes this stuff along. I do have cable because basically, if I'm in Canada, and probably in the States too, a lot this happens. I got the highest internet package possible, largely for this. So the fastest speed, the vibe thing, right? But the whole idea basically is, if the cheapest way to get it is to get the three, get like the internet, phone, and the cable. So basically, I don't want it. I don't use it. I rarely use cable, but it's tied in with the package, and it's cheaper to do that. If I was to get the internet on its own at the speed that I have, it would cost me more than it costs for the package altogether. And I got a good deal when I originally got the package, so that deal carries over, and so I have all three. I do watch a few things. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't seen Umbrella Academy yet. I hear it's good, but I haven't got to check it out yet. I will be checking it out in the near future, though. I just finished Stranger Things season 3, which is fantastic. Stranger Things is like, I'm a comic fan. Stranger Things, like when you find that cool indie comic that you didn't realize existed. That's kind of what Stranger Things reminds me of. I finished Stranger Things and I finished Scream on I finished Scream the last episode today too, and I didn't expect. Yeah, I gotta say I didn't know the killer was gonna be. I was wrong. Hey, Grubsy. Oh, I totally geeked out, and I hope that my geek out makes anybody that didn't pick this up. Thanks, Mug. I'm actually headed out now too because I got to go call my kids before it gets too late. Thank you for joining me for this kind of short little video talking about the American Horror Project Volume 1. Please, if you don't have this and if you haven't picked up the American Horror Project Volume 2, make sure that you do so. These are fantastically, amazingly done, well-curated sets, and Stephen Thrower and Arrow should be very, very proud of themselves for what they've done. Very proud of themselves. I got to get the New York Rippers set, by the way. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening there, and I'm Aaron. You are the movie club. This is the way box sets should be made. You're Batman. You guys are fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.